Hello, Virgo. Let's look at your month of March. Wow, that came out really quickly. We're going to be looking at themes, what to embrace, what to avoid, what to evaluate, and you've got a couple of theme cards here, so let's look at these together. I like this. Wow, this is awesome. So let's just move this in. So this March, it's going to be time to allow for a lot of beautiful, beautiful expansion. There's a sense in which you have been working on yourself for a really long time, and this March is going to be where the sort of the fruits of that labor kind of pay off in terms of your own internal, you're like expanding, glowing, and this expansion has you entering like new arenas of life, and like things, the expansion changes you. So but in a positive way, where, you know, there's just so much more in the way that you see things. There's so much more in the way that you feel things, and there's so much more that you understand. And this kind of opens a lot of doors for you in March. It really, really does. So there's going to be, the theme of March is that you're just in this bright, expansive place after all of this work, and that there's just going to be a lot of doors that are going to be opening for you, and that, you know, go for it. Like anything that feels right, go for it. But Spirit's also saying, like, it's really important for you to be comfortable in your own skin, like really, like to the extent that you have like grown so comfortable with your current like relationship to like me time and your own company. You really love your own company. Spirit's like, you're just gonna bring that comfort that you feel, and it's just you and you in a really good mood, in a really good spot. That whole bringing your whole self to these places, that, you know, to this expansive, yeah, it's sort of like being all the way close to your skin. Like you're all the way close to your skin. You're truly in your unique you-ness. And you're just expanding with what is you, and feeling really, really, really comfortable, and it like so comfortable in your skin as a result of this, and these doors opening up, and to just be so comfortable in your own skin in all of these like new opportunities. It's really cool. So the theme is, that you're expanding, that these expansions are going to really show you new doors, new opportunities, and that all of this time that you have spent like with yourself, you're going to be just comfortable. Like, you know, I'm seeing someone like start like that feeling of, you know, dread when you start something new. Spirit's like, you're just not going to have that. You're just going to be so comfortable with yourself. There's going to be a real confidence and comfort in every social situation that is a result of this expansion. It's really cool. And so what Spirit would have you think about avoiding this month, and really just sort of to keep your eye out as something that's, you know, worth not sort of getting caught up in. Let's see what we have here. Well, Spirit wants you to avoid, let me just take a minute with this, because there's something coming through that is worth focusing on for a second. So there are the things to avoid is basically, you know, as you know, you're expanding, these doors are opening, and you're really comfortable in your own skin. So there's a number of energies that are going to be attracted into that space, and Spirit would have you be kind of vigilant. Energies that, you know, want to come in, have a good time, and run out. You know, be careful with that. You know, an energy that is like overly overly passionate. I'm even seeing like slightly possessive. Be aware of that. An energy with like with a very sharp tongue, and can really just say things that like incisively hurt. Be aware of that. Be aware of someone who might know you really well and know how to get you to do things and so on and so forth. The stuff to avoid, I mean, I'm actually seeing just actually specific energies. The bottom of the deck on what to avoid is energies that aren't going to really stay in your life for the long haul. And so because you've got these doors opening up and you're in this space of like personal confidence and comfort, and you do have and you've had this expansion, it's this kind of thing where like some of the old people from the past are going to start showing up because you're in this really good place. They're going to feel it, and Spirit says you avoid sort of getting trapped in some of the things that like just weren't going to stick around for the long haul. Weren't there to really support and lift you up. Spirit says of anything that doesn't feel like it's supporting and lifting you up, don't spend time with it, because this is a really important month for you. For opportunities that are going to be there, and you're just going to feel good about taking those opportunities and stepping through those doors. And so don't get like caught up with energies of the past that weren't committal or just or weren't like good. So what Spirit wants you to embrace, and at the bottom of the deck of what Spirit wants you to embrace is the Lovers. I love this card. So Spirit's wanting you to embrace relationships that are, so what Spirit really wanted you to like avoid was kind of like the immature relationships, and what Spirit's actually telling you to embrace is mature relationships. And I guess this goes along with your expansion. So like to the extent that you're expanding and there's doors that are opening and you're really in your comfortable space within yourself, there's a lack of anxiety in March, a lack of friction in March. So Spirit wants you to embrace some new relationships that have a lot more in the way of maturity to them. Spirit wants you to take a minute with this. Spirit wants you to embrace change. There are going to be a couple of moments in March, or and again, this is a collective read, so it's different for everyone. But in March, there are going to be things that like need to change, and you may not want to, like, it's uncomfortable. Relationships that need to change, social dynamics that need to change. Even some of you, it's career, like jobs, careers. There's going to be a part of you that isn't really going to want to have those changes, because there's a lot of change that's happening here. And Spirit is wanting you to this is an interesting message. I'm just going to take a second because, like, again, as a collective read, I'm getting 3 or 4 things coming at me at once, and I actually want to see if I can section them out. For some of you, Spirit wants you to embrace that there's big change coming that is going to sort of like make the way that your life look different. And Spirit wants you to not leave everything behind in any way, but also in no way cling. So that's for some of you, and for others of you, there's a sense in which Spirit wants you to be very measured as you move forward. and to take these changes with a very like measured, grounded approach, and really just embrace that things are looking different for you, feeling different for you, and holding on. It's not, you know, there may be a level of challenge for many of you in terms of not wanting to like step into this whole new, yeah, like for a lot of you, like a job opportunity or a relationship opportunity is coming this March, and it's gonna ask for change. And so for some of you, it's going to be hard for you to make those changes and allow for those changes. And for others of you, Spirit wants you to just like cautiously take the changes like at a measured pace. And my advice to all of you almost is that like whatever camp you fall into, allow the changes to happen, but allow them to happen in a way that you can, you know, manage. You're not going to really be able to, anything that's meant for you, you're going to have. And there's a lot that you built in the past that you're taking with you into this new sort of, yeah, as you go, as these doors open and you cross those thresholds, like a lot of the stuff that you're going to be taking with you, but from a completely different vantage point. And so that's really what it is. Like Spirit wants you to, like, you know, be able to embrace this completely new vantage point and appreciate this completely new vantage point, because it goes hand in hand with your expansion. And that's what Spirit would have you embrace, like in a huge way, because, you know, this is a mature relationship. And when I say mature, I just mean, well, mature. This is a relationship that isn't immature. This is a relationship that, you know, is with someone who can, who you can really build with. So, and that doesn't have to be romantic. Like, always remember, like, you know, there's a lot of different great, amazing loves in life. And so for some of you, that will be a romantic relationship. And for some of you, that will be a new best friend. For others of you, it will be an amazing opportunity that's like commensurate with who you've become. But it's going to cause some change, and that's okay. This whole reading is just basically saying, like, you know, as we move into this expansion and the newness that comes along with it and the confidence that you've earned throughout this time, really spending time with your own company and loving yourself, that we're just seeing the fruits of that. And some of the fruits of that is like having to be okay with all of the change that that's going to bring. And so what Spirit would really want you to evaluate is, these are all upside down. And so, you know, when I see cards that are upside down, you know, I read them in different ways. It's just like how they speak to me. I'm very intuitive with the way that I read tarot. And I either see them as things that are repressed, or I see the hesitance, or I'll see it as meaning the opposite thing. It kind of depends on how Spirit is coming through. And this is this is coming through as stuff that's repressed. And so what Spirit wants you to evaluate like the truth, like evaluate the truth of what you really, really are aiming at and what you really do want in life. Evaluate what has had you feeling like anxious and losing your mind. You know, like what are those things that bring that out in you? Look at the things that get you in a period of being stuck and like depressed. You know, look at some of the ways in which you're not expressing your emotions. Spirit wants you to do a little bit of an internal inventory again, doors are opening, upgraded relationships are coming in. And so Spirit wants you to sort of evaluate Spirit wants you to evaluate ways, and this might be a good like little shadow work exercise. Spirit wants you to evaluate ways in which you haven't been completely honest with yourself about what you truly want and what that would mean to have it. Ways in which you allow yourself to be in situations that cause you to just be racked with anxiety, and just evaluate, like, you know, spend some time with your guides and spirit and just like look at this stuff, you know, look at like what keeps you stuck and what causes like a sense of depression, and also look at ways in which you aren't really fully expressing and giving, like kind of withholding love is actually what's coming through. And like look at ways in which you might be withholding love. Spirit wants you to evaluate all that stuff, because you got this you've got this lover's energy as something that is what Spirit wants you to embrace. And so in terms of what Spirit would want you to let go in the month of March, let's have a look at what Spirit would have you let go in the month of March. Indecision. Let's take a look here. It's interesting because Taurus had like a similar vibe in one of their categories of change. It wouldn't surprise me if this mature relationship that's coming in is with a Taurus. It wouldn't surprise me if it's with a Taurus, actually. It doesn't have to be, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's okay to let go of relationships where there just wasn't, where you were just, where someone was just taking more than they were giving. Spirit wants you to let go of whatever that was. It could be a relationship with a job that takes more than it gives. It could be a relationship with a person that takes more than it gives. It could be a relationship with a friend that takes more than they give. It's a collective read, so it comes through a number of ways. But Spirit wants you to be able to let go of what's taking more than what, you know, where there's an imbalance. And Spirit wants you to let go of, you know, staying too long like if you find yourself in places of imbalance as relates to the new, which is totally normal, because when something new comes in, it kind of upsets the balance of everything. Spirit wants you to like let go of being like frantic about that. Because Spirit wants, this month has like a very smooth, very easy, very like flow kind of feeling to it. But because you've got some really like some key good things coming in as a result of expanding and doors opening and confidence, you're gonna have to let go of your grip a little bit, because you know things might, you know, the balance of things will get upset. Not may. The balance of things will be upset, but what Spirit wants you to know in terms of like letting go is like just let go of needing things to be in balance right now, because there's a readjustment that has to happen. And Spirit wants you to like let go of, there's been a lot of time inside, a lot of time in introspection, and it served you. It's a part of what made this expansion happen. It's part of what gave you that comfort within yourself that's going to be so great going, you know, forward. But Spirit wants to be like absolutely sure that you know, like as these doors open, to not stay stuck in a inside like don't stay stuck inside. That's coming through really loud and clear. Don't pull away because introspection has become so comfortable. Time with yourself has become so comfortable, and that's great. These are good things. But as these doors open, Spirit says you're going to be just as comfortable out there through that door, through those thresholds. It's Spirit's basically really saying the comfort that you're finding, like, you know, from this period of introspection and being inside and like having that, you know, loving yourself in your own company, that's going, you know, that all of that growth is going with you. And while there might be like a little bit of upheaval and a little like off balance with the changes, just kind of like a redistributing of energies around your life, don't take that to mean like I just want to stay home and like, you know, withdraw and keep being in the spiritual space that I found a real comfort zone in, because Spirit says like you're going to be just as comfortable as you go through those doors that are opening for you in March. And Spirit says like there may be a number of like illusions. For some of you, it's an infatuation. For some of you, it's a belief that if you had this, then that would be perfect. You know, for some of you, that didn't come out right. Spirit's correcting me. For some of you, there's a belief that you can't be happy without this. And, you know, and that's not, and that would be an illusion. You know, for some of you, there are things that you hold on to from the past that just no longer apply, old patterns kind of thing, that you're not really seeing. They're not really clear. They're like more kind of unconscious. But Spirit says like, these things are, you're gonna be up against stuff that is going to challenge some of the ways that you see things, and Spirit wants you to take a minute and back to where Spirit wanted you to evaluate, use that evaluation to sort of like evaluate some of these situations that might actually not be as true as you think that they are. They might be, it's like shadowy, you know, I'm being shown like someone standing and their shadow is really tall, and this is what Spirit is saying is, you know, that shadow is really tall because of the way that the sun is positioned, but that individual making the shadow isn't as big as you think that they are. And that's just an example, and that might be specific for someone, but that's just an example of, you know, as you're doing all of that evaluation and as things are sort of shifting and like sort of a little bit out of balance, and as you start to let go of those relationships and those situations that take away more than they give, you're going to start to see some new things, and these doors are going to open. And so Spirit's going to want you to sort of allow yourself to like do that evaluation and see things clearly and go through some of those doors and not hold back because of a comfort zone. Not at all, because again, Spirit's like reiterating to me, you're going to be just as comfortable through those doors and, you know, through those thresholds as you have been falling in love with yourself and being in an introspective spiritual place. Like you're going to be just as comfortable. Like you get to bring that with you. And so where Spirit would have you grow this March, oh, this is great. You know, I would not be surprised if the person that came in, you know, be it a friend or lover, you know, I would not be surprised if that was a Taurus at all. Okay, so for some of you, for some of you, like that is spot on. And for some of you, it's just this beautiful, like very grounded energy that I am absolutely loving. So where there's going to be growth in March, beautiful growth in March, is you're finally ready to step out of that healing space. And you're finally ready to stop like toiling in directions that aren't leading to the kind of happiness and success that you really do deserve and really, you know, have been working towards for a long time. So Spirit is saying your growth this month is that your healing time, your healing time's up. Not that healing is an ongoing life process, but your time of introspective spiritual healing, where you've really just, you know, been in this space, like you are, again, as these doors open and as you step through these doors, as this is the ultimate happiness card. This is the best card in the deck. So your growth is in being able to accept and really step into this. This is going through one of those doors that's going to open, and you'll know which one is the sun, because you will feel the warmth of it. You won't miss it. Nothing that is meant for you can be missed. And this is a victory. This is a huge victory in your life. So this growth, and again, it works so well with this confidence and this comfort with yourself. This growth in March is actually being on the other side, beginning to be on the other side of that healing and into abundance and into happiness. Like, that's where this growth is in March, and that's really, really beautiful. And so, like, in terms of like what action Spirit wants you to take related to all that, you know, that is going to be let's see what this is. Wow, okay. The action Spirit wants you to take. Still have to get used to the way that I'm doing this. Spirit wants you to actually, this is related to, so there's going to be a door that opens for you. Again, there's going to be a bunch of them, but there's like one in particular that is that sunshine door, that opportunity, that person, that, you know, opportunity, relationship, that, like stepping through that door. Spirit wants you to do so very much from that place of intuition, because you know how I was saying, like, you're going to feel the warmth when you open that door. You're going to feel the distinct warmth. And like when we started out and there were things to avoid, and there was a lot of that player energy, or even just like exploitive energy that you had to avoid in relationships that like weren't going to be there for the long haul, or weren't like worth the time and investment because they weren't like stable enough. You're going to be able to feel a really big difference between those and the opportunity that leads to that sun energy, because you're going to really feel that warmth, and you're going to have this inner knowing. So Spirit is saying, like, you're going to know it, you're going to feel it in your gut, and Spirit wants you to take quick, decisive action, because this is a beautiful, stable, like very in tune with you energy coming through, very much in line with like what the work and the expansion that's happening. And that's this mature, positive relationship, or this positive, like mature, like very, like fits you really well, whether it's a person or a place, or an opportunity. You are perfect for this, right? So Spirit, the action Spirit wants you to take is to just not drive yourself crazy wondering whether or not, you know, this new direction is going to be good. This new direction is going to be good. And like, if you don't feel a gut inner knowing, if you're not feeling the warmth from the opportunity, like, this is going to be very much about, and Spirit's like, you're going to know. Like, this isn't, you can't miss what is meant for you. But Spirit is being really clear. You're going to know, you're going to feel it, you're going to feel it in your depths. And so Spirit's advice is to, once you have that moment, take action quickly. Take action quickly, and don't allow like scripts from the past or ways of being from the past that sort of kind of can pop up in those moments when there's transition, because that's sort of when, you know, the old stuff sort of pops up for a moment, you know, when there is transition, where there's a slight unbalance because things have to be reoriented for the new. Spirit, the action Spirit wants you to take is to really place faith in this. Place faith in, like, you know yourself. You have had this awakening. You have had this expansion. You are in tune. And so Spirit would have you take action on that intuition. Absolutely. because it's a solid, wonderful thing for you. And so in terms of what the goal for this month is, for the month of March for you, it's kind of a lot. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I thought there was more than that. Okay. Wow. Your goal is to understand that you do have the emotional intelligence. You do have the passion and the confidence, and you do and you are really rooted in knowing yourself and loving yourself and caring for yourself. This has been this expansion for you. And so your goal is to allow yourself to step into a place of emotional vulnerability that it's safe to do so. Like, you're strong enough, you're in tune with yourself enough, you are you're emotionally intelligent enough. You're going to be in this beautiful, fiery, sexy, confident, creative, inspired place, and you're really feeling at home with yourself. And you got this incredible emotional intelligence. So Spirit is kind of saying, where there's a goal is to, when you are in that, and again, your intuition is going to be on point, to let yourself just be a little bit emotionally vulnerable. Allow that to be. And you will. You're going to allow for that emotional vulnerability, and it's going to just, circle back in that feedback loop of that emotional vulnerability is going to serve you to drive home your confidence, your sense of inspiration and beauty, and your ability to see yourself as really being in command of your emotions. And so that little bit of emotional vulnerability that you allow is going to yield yield well. And so let's pull some advice from Spirit going forward into the month of March, just some general advice, because it's cool. I mean, this is a great month of opportunities and ease, and the only difficult stuff is just things that just aren't working. You already know the things that aren't working. Wow. All right, that's a lot of advice from Spirit. Let's see what's coming through over here. Yeah. So Spirit is saying from this place of silence that you've been in, it's time. You see, I love the way that these almost move into each other, So it's Spirit's calling you out of this place of silence and introspection, and calling you to actually move into this change. You're already changed. Your inside is already changed, and so now it's just about having your life change with you. And so it does take the leap of faith that is called for in the month of March for you is to definitely just step out of the silence, step outside, step through those doors, and take that, it's, there's a little bit of courage, courage towards, having this change. And this change is just the change inside. This is a reflection of the change that's already happened inside of you, starting to change the life around you. And so let's just get some words from Spirit before we close, some direct words from Spirit before we close, relating to the month of March for you, because this is an exciting month. I mean, these it's like a month of starting to really feel alive again in an amazing way. I am so convinced at this point. Oh my gosh. I'm so convinced at this point that, whatever this incredible and stabilizing, love energy that's coming in, I'm pretty, again, this is a collective and it's different for everyone, but I'm pretty sure that if this is an individual coming in your life, that they have some pretty strong Taurus placements. That just came through. That's not for everyone, but that did come through for some. Spirit wants you to know that, you know, as you make this change, you are surrounded by love and support. You're not, you know, you're an independent, you're independent, but to the extent that there's just a little bit of bravery that's called for in sort of stepping into this change, like as you kind of work through that like slight imbalance that comes as like your life has to sort of reorient, know that you're supported. Know that you have guides that are like supporting you. You have ancestors that are supporting you. You have a relationship with Source that is supporting you. And beyond that, you know, there are energies. There are all kinds of energies, and there might even be individuals or you know, social structures that are supporting you. You are supported in this change, and you are loved in this change. It says, I am worthy of the very best in life, and I now lovingly allow myself to accept it. Yeah. Everything all these doors that are opening up for you, all of these opportunities that are arriving, you are worthy of them completely and totally, and allowing yourself to accept some of this like beautiful stuff. That means kind of this is like that stepping outside and stepping into the opportunity. And this says, my world is a reflection of my thinking. And this really speaks to me of like, you know, the month of March for you is all of the internal work and all of the internal change. Your life is now changing to meet that change inside. And so that's kind of the main message of this month for you, is that all of the work and the change on the inside, now that change is going to be reflected in your life on the outside. And it's a really good thing. It's bringing in positive, wonderful things. And it's not going to be that hard. And there's going to be a couple of bumpy moments, but you're going to be pretty comfortable and pretty at ease because of how rooted you are in this love for yourself that's been a result of a lot of time spent in contemplation and in introspection. So going to the month of March, you've got some really cool opportunities. Like your life is just changing to meet the changes inside, and it's a beautiful thing. So this is really exciting. All right, so I will see you next month. I hope that some or all of that resonated, and I certainly hope that there was something that was helpful. All right, I'll see you next month.